Welcome back to another fun afternoon with Pardee's Shop Shenanigans. I'm Bob, and we are working on, yes, Ray, my son's 1987 G20 Chevy van. We've been doing quite a lot of work. Well, we'll have a little departure from what we've been working on. It's been interior work up to now, but today we're going to take a look under the hood. Now, I've gone through and done a lot of pre-trip things like change oil, transmission service, lubed up the front end, lubed the drive line, checked the rear differential, put in a new air filter, fuel filter. Gosh, what else? Rotated the tires, checked the brakes. I think mechanically we're pretty solid and pretty close, ready to go. However, I do have a little conundrum, and that is, well, I don't know if you see anything odd here, but that blue thing is a rag. That pink thing is a rag. And that's what the battery is resting against. Yeah, I'm going to use the term janky. Fortunately, on his trip to Moab and back last year, he didn't have any issues with anything shorting out. But needless to say, we've got some work to do there. Also going to check out the alternator, make sure it's working well under load, since we'll be running charge wire to a charging station at the back of the van, where we'll have our power center as well. So we'll get this thing taken apart and figure out what's going on and see what I need to do for probably a new battery tray and some kind of a tie down. Let's make it safe. Okay, let's see what we've got going on here. Tie wraps galore. Well, at least it did have a bungee cord on it. I don't know where it's going, but I don't care. I just know it's coming out. I guess that was long enough. Yeah, let's see if we can't get you disconnected. 7/16. Negative battery cable loose. Oh, looky here. Looks like Mr. Squirrel's been up here with a hazelnut. That's handy. You know, I'm pretty amazed. This van sat all winter out in the weather, in the cold. All we did was park it at the end of the season. Get out there and bada bing, bada boom, she started up like a champ. Pretty good running engine. It's got, I think, 38,000 miles on the clock, so I'm guessing it's probably 138, and in surprisingly good condition. I'm not a big fan of these clamp style. Clamps, these little buggers. So we'll get something that's going to do a little better job. But hey, it's held up now, doing the trick. I don't know, probably shouldn't mess with a good thing when it's working right. Okay. Come on, battery. Oh yeah. Vans are fun. Well, let's see. We've got a rolled up beach towel. Heck, that's ready for the lake. We've got a crusty hand towel. Don't ask. Oh, well, this was creative. She used to want to go on a picnic. Got a basket. Well, it was doing the trick, I suppose. Windshield washer reservoir is MIA. Alrighty. And I'm kind of surprised it didn't take out this headlight. I do have clearance lamp not working, but that's okay. And I'm kind of surprised that the speedometer works. I know why it rattles now. It was pinched in there, had a big old kink in it. So you can hear that rattling. We might try to take it loose from up at the dash cluster and lubricate that cable. Makes a big difference. You get a better reading on your speedometer and it won't jump and hop around so much. That'll be something to work on. All right, well, the good news is there is a battery tray under all that. Just looks like I'm going to need to do a new bracket underneath. That gives me more to work with than I thought. Hot diggity. Okay, well, I'll get the rest of that taken out and we'll see what we can do from there. Well, the good news is I've got a little bit to work with down there. So I took this this battery tray, was kind of a booger. Trying to get to everything. These vans are hard to work with. Sitting in here, but nothing supporting the back side of it. So as you can see, got one bracket here. And a brick. Yeah, maybe get some better mileage. Well, people do what they got to do to make things work. I guess the good news is I've got a lot of room to work down here, so I'm going to have to figure out a complementary brace over here. Probably mount something right off the wheel well. I don't know. I think what I'll probably do from here is take a little break. I'm going to do a little research to find out just how these Chevy vans were originally configured and see if we can come up with a solution. So probably do that tomorrow night. Stick around. More to come. Well, so this is what I'm working with. Hope you can see the perspective. This is the front corner of the van. This is where I pulled the battery and the towels and the brick that was down there out. This battery tray, this plastic tray, is supposed to live here just like this. But as you can see back here, there's nothing to hold it. It's probably had some rot from battery acid and whatnot over years, not kept up, so that's broken off. That's why this battery was laying down there in a funny way. So I need to figure out how to build a bracket to go from here across that'll hold this, and it's got to take, a battery, they're pretty heavy, 30 pounds or so, and a lot of torque also as it's in the front of the van and takes a lot of abuse. So I'm going to have to see what I can do here. This will be one of these creative moments, I'm sure, coming up. But it looks like the original bracket here had two bolts you can see that go through this way. Well, they're corroded up and rusted up enough. They're not going to come out. I already tried and they just want to spin off there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably take... There's 3 bolts that hold this bracket. They go down behind my finger here. I think I'll just take those 3 bolts off so I can take this whole bracket out, figure out how to clean up this rusted piece and get it off. And then I think I've got a piece that I can go like this and bend up to bolt across there. And a piece will go here and bend down. That'll bolt into here. And then I'll have a nice surface for my battery tray to sit. I don't know. It all looks good on paper, right? Of course, the interesting thing is there's no room to work, so I took out this headlight here so that I can actually reach in and get to things. Yeah, vans are a bit of a booger to work on. They're cool till someone puts an eye out. Wish me luck. Okay, with just a couple of new words and some patience, I discovered there were 3 bolts that hold this on, You see the horn right down here was also bolted on. So now I'm able to take this guy out. And from that, we can see kind of the condition that my condition is in. So this is supposed to sit like this. That's supposed to be straight. Battery being warbled in and out over time has bent that up. So I'm going to straighten this out. I have to take this off. These bolts right here, they're pretty rusted and cruded up. But you can see what this was a bracket that bolted on here. And that's what went across, back up under to this piece. You can just barely see that circle there. And it's rusted and all fallen out. So we're going to get creative. I'm going to go ahead and get these bolts out. I'm going to get this cut off. No need watching all that. Get this beat out straight, and let's see what our next steps will be. Well, alrighty then. Parts. We got parts. Turns out this is the piece that was back up on the firewall, hardest to get to under the fender. This is the piece that went down on the radiator support. I've taken it out. I was able to actually get these bolts to come loose, which surprised me. This was bolted on like this. And so from the factory, what this had was this against firewall, this on the radiator support. There's a piece bolted on that came across here and then up here. But as you can see, it's all rusted and cruded out. This is why you clean your batteries often. Make sure they're not leaking battery acid all over the place, because this is what happens to metal after 30 plus years when you do. So what I need to do is figure out how to fabricate away from me to hang on to everything. I need to fabricate something for this to sit on. I can't just put this plastic tray bolted to this piece of metal, or I'm going to have the same problem going on. And that needs to be supported underneath here in some way. So what I'm going to do, I think, what I'm going to do is I've got this piece of 16 gauge steel. I've measured, I need extra hands, don't I? To bridge across here, I need a piece that's at least 6 inches across. And that's where it actually makes contact, right? So a piece that's at 6 inches across. And I measured earlier, well, this is 12 inches, just shy of 12 inches upside down. My space between here and here is right at 10 inches. Actually, take that back, on the inside, it was 9 3/4 inches. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece of metal that's 6 inches wide this way. And what I have happens to be 15 inches that I can put a bend in like this, and then I can bolt it together. And the bend in that'll come up behind here, I'll drill a couple holes and bolt that together. And I think I'll have a solution then for this to sit on that'll have 2 bolts put in it. And I'll have a nice, firm, safe battery mount that won't burn Ray down. So, wish me luck. I'll go back after it. I'll show you the pieces when I'm done. Well, okay, this isn't the best perspective, I realize, but you know, when you don't have a cameraman, make do. So this is our piece of metal that's going to connect up on the bracket from the firewall side. Okay, I'm going to have to measure, and I'm going to bend this up so it comes up behind here, right? And then over on this one, I have to bend it down. It'll fit on the inside here. So what I'm looking for is a 9 3/4 space. You know, everybody could do math lots of different ways, but this isn't going to be a real exacting something. So let's see, if I'm at 15, 9, 10, and 15, 2.5, I'm just going to give myself a 2.5 inch mark. And then from that point, I'm going to measure 9 3/4. I'm actually starting on the 1 inch mark, so I'll end over here at 10 3/4. And then use my handy dandy square here. Draw a line. And then using the same surface, same edge here, draw my line over here. We can see you got a little variance. So I'm at 9 3/4. That's where we want her. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put this in the vise, line it up on this mark so I've got it square. I'm going to bend it down. And then I'm going to come over on this one. I'm sorry, I'm going to bend this one up. And I'm going to bend this one down. So I'll have a Z shape. And that's going to get what I need. Then I'll drill a couple holes. Drill a couple holes so I can bolt it on here. Drill a couple holes so that my battery tray has a place to bolt on. And we're going to have a battery tray. Low tech, made out of scrap. Sorry guys, it Fitzy's Fabrication and Make It Custom and those guys that I adore so much. I'm not doing near the work you do, but hey, I'm having fun, right? That's what Bad Chad says, have fun. So let's move this around. We'll get a different angle while I bend it. All righty. Get this lined up nice and square so I don't have a wonky shape. It might be a little wonky when I'm done, but that's okay. What I really want to do, I'm going to lose a little bit with my bend, so I'm going to stay above it just a whisker. Okay, let's take you this way. Give you a little love. This is not precision work, folks. This is get her done work. Okay. Now, just for kicks, let's see if I can take some of this out of here. All right. So we've got a purse bend this way. I need to bring this one up this way. So let's line everything up the other way here. No, we can do it this way. You notice how I did lose a little bit, so this is right on my line. By lose a little bit, I mean is if I put this line right here at the top of the vise, my actual bend is going to be up above it because the metal has to stay on top. If I want my bend, the center to be on here, I have to raise it up a little bit. Now again, if we were doing high-end fabrication here, we would use different tools. But Bob uses the tools he has. Okay. Bob also uses the materials he has. This is some pretty thick metal for what I need, but it's what I had. There's probably some of you guys out there in your shop right now going, boy, what a butcher. But I'm having fun. Okay. It's not super pretty, right? But I now have a piece of metal that is going to bridge the gap. This is going to come up under here. I'm going to drill a couple holes so I can bolt it. All right. And let's see if I can move that a little bit here. And then this piece will go like this. And I'll be ready to rock and roll. So I will do that part. I'll get this assembled, drill some holes, and see what happens. Well, alrighty then. Here's the first dry fit. I hope you can see in here. Maybe I can zoom a whisker, see if that helps. I don't know. We can see that. I don't know how to run the camera. There we go. Woo! So here's the tray that has a bend going down and a bend going up behind here, right? I had mentioned earlier when I took this bracket out, see how that's bent? And I said, gosh, that's not how it's supposed to be. Well, that is how it's supposed to be. The battery actually sits at an angle to match up with this bracket back here. And in so doing, then it clears, we clear the, where's my finger? There's my finger. We clear the headlights. Here, I pulled this headlight out. So it's not too close to the headlight, and it's not too close back here to this clearance lamp. If I had put this in square, if I'd tried to put this in square with the front, I would have had all kinds of trouble. So I guess my point with that is you might have an idea how something's supposed to work, but don't force it. Got to let things kind of talk to you, if that makes sense. And then we'll have, where'd my battery box go? Hang on, let me go grab that. Well, I'm just a mess without Logan here as a cameraman, aren't I? That's okay. I'll survive. He'll be back this week, and we got to have Ray ready to roll. Now what'll happen is this battery box will sit in here just like that. I'll drill 2 holes, probably just diagonal, to bolt that down so that it'll stay in place. And we put a strap up and over the battery. And now we have a battery that's safe, not leaning against things with a brick holding it up and a towel keeping it from shorting against the body. It's not a fancy job. This is not a restoration job. I mean, let's face it, this is a farm fix, right? Heck, I'm not even going to bother when this is all said and done. I'm not even going to bother painting that because, quite frankly, that'll probably outlast the van. So now I've got to take it out. I need to drill a couple holes so I can bolt this together. Put the whole thing back in. I'll show it to you when there's a battery sitting in there. Bagosh and bagori. It looks like we've got it. You can see the bracket I thought was bent. We pulled stuff off of here. See the bracket in the back that was all rusted and crudted out. I was able to come far enough up here to get into some decent metal to drill through. I just bolted this in here. This is just bolted on the bottom, and I reassembled everything. Maybe not beautiful, but it's beautiful to me. Now I'll have these, we'll go in here once I line everything up. Come on, you little booger. Okay, I'll put the nuts on the bottom here. Test that out there. And voila, we have a battery tray that's going to hold up and be clear. I'll put the headlight back in. I got to buy a couple new ones anyway. We're all clear of all our wiring. I did route my positive cable back on the inside here instead of up over the top like it was. It's going to be a better fit. Our speedometer cable is no longer bound up and pinched up. Not really sure how it even worked earlier. I still need to put the horn Come on, you booger. The horn still goes back on right here. I'll get that bolt in. I mean, can't be traveling without your horn, right? So there you have it. That's as good as it gets, for whatever that's worth. I don't know if it's worth much, but we're still going to go for it anyway. Let me get this camera back where it belongs. I think I've about had it for tonight. Don't know about you, but that's going to wrap up this little evening, this little project, working on Ray the van, my son's adventure mobile. Got a bunch of other videos on it. If this is the first one you've watched, you'll want to watch the other 8 or 9. We've been converting this into an RV, and he leaves later this week, and we still got a lot of work to do. That's why I'm burning the midnight oils out here. Thanks for joining me here at Party Shop Shenanigans. Remember, if you don't try, you'll never know if you can do something. This isn't exactly showroom quality, but having a good time. Step out, and if you think you can't do something, you're right. Go out and make somebody smile today. You both deserve it. Also, hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend or 10, and make sure you come back and visit Ray and Stanley, the service truck, as well. Bob out.